What's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. All right, let's get to this week's movie review. We are here, the end of the Venom trilogy, Venom: The Last Dance. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
The third Venom movie since 2018, the fifth Spider-Man-less Spider-Man universe movie from Sony. And there will be more. Of course, first appearance of Venom as a symbiote, 1984. Amazing Spider-Man 252. I have that issue. Great storyline. And then another great issue, the first full Venom appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 300. Todd McFarlane cover. Classic. On Rotten Tomatoes, let's look at the journey of these movies. It's been very interesting. The first Venom, 2018, 30% critics, 80% audience. All right. Venom 2, what's that one called? Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, 2021, 57% critics, 84% audience. Both numbers go up. Very interesting. Venom 3, The Last Dance, 38% critics rating right now, 142 reviews, 80% on the popcorn meter for the audience, okay? This movie's budget was $120 million. Here, I'm going to give you the history again because this is very interesting. First, when Venom opens to $80 million, finishes its run at $856 million worldwide. The second movie opens $90 million opening weekend. That one only finished at $506 million. That's $1.3 billion right there for the Venom franchise. Now, this thing underperformed. Venom: The Last Dance opening weekend, $51 million, the lowest of the three. However, internationally, it's made $124 million. In China, $45 million from China alone. So worldwide, the movie is sitting at $175 million already. And this will push the franchise to about $1.5 billion total. So while the U.S. box disappointed, it's killing overseas. Very interesting. They love the Venom. This one directed by Kelly Marcel in her directing debut and written by Kelly Marcel and Tom Hardy. So Kelly Marcel wrote on the last two movies. And Tom Hardy also wrote on the last movie. And that who is our star, Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. But you got Chiwetel Ejiofor in here as General Strickland. Juno Temple from Ted Lasso as a scientist. Rhys Ifans, the lizard, Otto Hightower. Kind of slumming it as Martin here in this movie. Stephen Graham.
I don't get why he's in it, but all right. Yeah, let's keep going.
What the fuck is Otto Hightower's talent doing in this? It is weird. Stephen Graham returning as Detective Mulligan from the second movie. You got Peggy Lou returning as Mrs. Chen. And then also Cristo Fernandez, bartender, MCU and Sony Universe bartender, also from Ted Lasso. And possibly in the most post-credit scenes I've ever seen motherfucker be in. He's got like 3 in a row. And some other people that are in the movie, scientists, whatnot.
There was a lot of post-credits in this movie?
There was 2. We will go over that.
Oh.
Also, notably, you have Andy Serkis as the voice and the mocap for Null. And we'll get to exactly what he mocapped. I'm not sure. We'll get to that. But in the meantime, Anthony, tell me what happens. PG-13, 1 hour, 49-minute, Venom: The Last Dance.
Venom: The Last Dance. We have Venom and Eddie still somewhat living on the run as the government tries to hunt them. The government's been collecting symbiotes, and they're looking for the last one, Venom. While this is happening, in a dark, strange universe, we learn that the symbiotes had this relationship with the Null and his gang of monsters, and they banished him to somewhere. And he's looking to get out because he wants to burn the universe or some shit. I don't know. And the only way to do that is to find the codex. And that codex is conveniently located on Venom.
Oh, how convenient.
So, yeah. And that's also happening. So Venom's got shit he's dealing with. World-ending stuff.
Yeah. Allegedly. Didn't feel like it. All right. Well. All right. So quickly, give me your thoughts on the first two and this franchise and how you felt at the end of this one.
The first two movies?
Yeah.
The first Venom was a goofy movie that isn't very good, but also has a charm to it because of the fact that you have this homoerotic relationship. I don't know. Maybe it's not homoerotic, but you have this relationship with a Tom Hardy who's playing Eddie Brock in Venom, and it's so out there and strange and fun that it makes the movie, which isn't very good otherwise, worth remembering. Venom 2, I don't remember it all, to be honest with you. All I remember is what's his name with a bad wig?
Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Yeah, and there's some weird stuff in there. It's kind of a waste of Carnage, but you still have the fun Venom vibes, and then you have this one. So now, as I said in my instant reaction, which you can check out now, I don't think I've changed my opinion much on the movie, but I'll recap it here. I think the movie is, in a lot of ways, just trash. You have this villain that is very ambiguous on who he is, what he can do. It's just written out of nowhere that all of a sudden this villain has some ties to the symbiote and Venom, and the main villain that you're getting is actually a monster, so there's no real interaction there. It's pretty dead. Then you have all these new side characters, which are kind of whatever. You have all these Venom symbiotes, which is all of a sudden, I think it was a thing, but it's all of a sudden just dropped in on your lap that there's these different color Venoms, and actually the symbiotes were escaping, and they're kind aliens, and all that's kind of just garbage. I did like the hippie family, even though it doesn't make any sense why they cast Ifran's
the lizard.
To play. I don't know why they cast the same guy. I also don't know why they cast Echefur as this guy. It's like the weird things that Sony does where it's almost borderline incompetent. Like I said earlier, where they think they're being cute, but it doesn't even make any sense why you would do that. It doesn't tie in anything, but I liked the movie. I just enjoyed Eddie Brock and Venom, and I enjoyed their whole dynamic. And towards the end, I did feel, I wouldn't say I was crying or anything, but I definitely felt, oh man, like if this is the end of them, it's kind of sad. So yeah, I think the movie rests on them, and if you enjoy them, then the movie's kind of tolerable. If you don't enjoy any of them, then the movie's pretty much trash, and I totally understand why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that was when I listened to your instant reaction, I was like, what? You were like, I actually had fun. And I can see that.
I trashed it I trashed it for a good minute before I then ended with, well, I actually kind of liked it.
And that's kind of like the vibe all these movies have been going for, is that they're trash, but you should have fun. Rugs.
One thing, and then all that Rugs. I legitimately laughed so hard when they meet the hippie couple that are looking for aliens. They serve him a plate of food, and you hear Venom just like he's like, oh, vegan, and they toss it over his head right away. He just reacts and goes, oh my.
He actually, I'll tell you, the one time I laughed out was his line, and it was after he just pops up with the rocket launcher and blows the thing away, and he's like, sorry. Like that was like the funniest part for me. Rugs. What do you think of these Venom movies, and was this one fun? What happened?
No, sir, don't like it. What can I say? Fuck that show. When they make a movie and they don't intend to make it good from the get-go, and they're just like, yeah, we're just going to use this character to grab some money, it already pisses me off. The first movie was tolerable. Like, they tried to kind of at least make it fun and a fun experience, and it was. The second movie is completely forgettable because I don't remember anything about it at all. Like Anthony said, this one, I feel like I'm going to remember more for whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think it was because it was just such a different, simple, mindlessly dumb movie. It reminds me a lot of like that fourth Superman movie, The Quest for Peace.
Oh God, not The Quest for Peace.
Where they just made a terrible movie.
Yeah, on purpose.
And it's just bad. I face palmed so many times. But I did laugh a few times, and I did at a few times, like, kind of perk up in my seat and enjoy what was going on. And as far as action and comedy is concerned, like, there's a few memorable things with the horse and things like that. There's funny interactions, but overall, yeah, I think that it was a ham-fisted, stupid movie. I don't understand the lightning thing. I don't understand.
That is pointless. There's so many pointless things in this movie.
What was the lightning thing?
The doctor's memory, her backstory was she was running on the beach with her
powers
brother.
When she gets a symbiote, I guess.
And so
that doctor sucks.
She got hit by lightning. It went through her and killed him. And then she becomes a symbiote with like she's like Sonic the Hedgehog by the end or something.
I remember.
I was like, what was the point of this lightning story to begin with?
They just, nothing really pays off properly. It just, they rush through everything. And why is there a Venom that can't get out? Like,
okay.
Yeah, we're going to die and he's stuck in there. And I don't know.
We're going to talk about all this. None of this makes sense. I will say, I will say the first movie I found moderately entertaining. Tom Hardy sitting in the aquarium with the lobsters always sticks out in my head. Hilarious. Their relationship is what's holding these movies together. The second movie, just like you guys, I have no fucking memory. There was a church, there was a prison. I don't know. I don't know what happened. And it gets a little muddy because they pick up with the same Detective Mulligan. And I was like, I forgot this guy was in the last fucking movie. This one, I knew what I was walking into. And it was exactly what I thought. Goofy, silly, a lot of things don't make sense, full of plot holes. And then at the end, I just found it moderately fun, and it didn't feel as an epic ending as it should have. And if they're going to make a purposely goofy, fun popcorn flick, I wish they kind of leaned into that more.
Yeah, I wish Null would have actually been in the third act.
Okay, we're just going to talk about Null real quick, get him out of the way. We start with an exposition dump opener on Clintar.
That exposition dump reminded me of
there's a lot of movies that
the way Thor: Dark World starts, and some of those bad Marvel movies or bad villains in Marvel movies were just like, okay, we were using this guy, we got to get him out of the way right away and to let you know, like, there was never a plan to use this guy, but we got to find a way to weave it in right away.
Shoved him in. By the way, here's the top of his head, which is the only thing you're gonna see for the 3 minutes that he's on the screen. He just loved looking down at his feet for some reason. Anyways, he explains that whole thing. I created the symbiotes. They went against me. They put me in this prison on Clintar so that he created these xenophages. And he's like, I need this codex that they just never mentioned before. And apparently the codex is formed when a symbiote resurrects their host. And it can only be seen when Venom is in his full form. The xenophages, there's portals, they get to the Earth. I did kind of think it was neat how they could only see him when he's Venom. So it handicaps him. And it's real, because then they make stupid decisions. They find him right away. But it does beg the question, if Null can create these portals to send these fucking things through,
why can't he get out?
Why can't he just portal himself out of there? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
I'm trying to think, but that's a great curly Three Stooges line. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. But he needs this codex to escape whatever. And then another crazy thing happens. We start in the MCU. Now, we got to take this whole back and forth, these post-credit scenes. The end of the second Venom movie, Sony zaps Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy into the MCU. And Venom sees a picture of Spider-Man and goes, that guy, and licks the screen. Cut ahead to the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. So Sony's like, we're putting Venom in the MCU. Kevin Feige literally is like, nope, and boots him the fuck out at the bar with the guy from Ted Lasso, leaving a little bit of the symbiote. And we saw that. We didn't see him disappear. We saw a similar conversation. And this movie starts right there and kind of retcons the scene. And what happens is the same portals that Null was creating to send these xenophages shows up behind Eddie Brock, pulls him back into his universe's version of that bar where the bartender has long hair. It's the same bar. This makes no sense. Null can create multi-universal portals. I don't understand what happened here.
Yeah, I didn't get what happened. I didn't understand at all what happened.
I was like, what? Okay, so he's in that version and does leave a piece of the symbiote there to hold down the coin for a tip. which also doesn't make sense. I did enjoy Venom going, I'm so done with this multiverse shit. That was kind of a funny line. But all that was like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And the whole time, they kind of teased, is Spider-Man going to show up? Is there going to be any connection to the MCU or any kind of Spider-Man?
Really? You felt like they were teasing it? I felt like they right off the bat, they dropped it and said this, there's no tease.
After this, like walking in, you were like, are they going to do this? And then when you see that, they're like, nope, this is not happening. What was the
post-credit scene with the cockroach or something?
So you want to jump to the post-credit scene. There's 2 post-credit scenes.
One is they reveal Null.
Finally, you see his face and whatever Andy Serkis mocap, because he didn't see his face. And he's like, the King in Black is coming now that he's gone. I'm going to be out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Setting up a fucking really threat that's probably never going to pay off. The second one at the very end, that bartender guy who they took, the Imperium Project, he comes out of the cave. Everything's destroyed. And he's like, hello. And he runs off. And then it shows you a cockroach approach a broken vial that held one of the symbiotes. Now, it looked kind of purple. I thought it was the vial that the doctor had who became the purple one. It could have been the vial that we got from the bar that still has a little piece of Venom, even though Venom was killed and melted or destroyed. But also a weak post-credits setup.
Both post-credits were pretty weak in my opinion. Really
pointless. We saw him bond with a fish and a frog and animals, and then the end credits had like all these Venom animals. I thought that was fun.
I actually laughed when he bonded with the frog.
The frog was funny, yes. So I don't know if they're saying he's going to bond with this cockroach. And there's a line early on where she's like, oh, cockroaches have been here for millions of years and they'll be around no matter what. But pointless post-credit scenes.
Yeah. I can't argue with anything you guys are saying. And I totally get it. There was no plan for any of this. It doesn't seem like, right? So everything feels, it says this has been tacked in, the whole doctor brother relationship. We never met this doctor.
Yeah.
The whole Null thing, the whole codex, the different color Venoms, like all that stuff feels very like they just had to come up with something for the movie. And it's not it doesn't all really mingle all well together at all. But I like the scene where he's when he takes on the centrifuges or wherever the fuck those things are and starts aciding himself and telling Eddie goodbye and all that. I was like, this is good.
I will say, look, the first half of the movie
they did a good job in my opinion of like building where Eddie and Venom, like that thing, that whatever that chemistry is a thing.
Yes, their chemistry, and it's him with himself. Like, this is what people love. It's just like, you really could have just had the whole movie of them like ordering pizza, going grocery shopping. Would have been fun. But the first half of this movie,
we are Venom. We are Venom,
and a lot of it's in the trailer. Except for the whole, it was still funny. The timing is off all these years. So the first half of the movie, I was kind of falling asleep. It's like this road trip movie. There are some fun scenes. The airplane scene is kind of fun. He finds this random fucking family. He makes it to Vegas. There's a whole fucking choreographed dance number with Mrs. Chen. And I did laugh when Tom Hardy's like, when did you have time to rehearse this? Because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you risked Eddie Brock falling from a plane to get away from this thing, but you're going to risk getting caught just to dance with Miss Chet. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay. I don't know why. Fine. Yeah, he risked it all to dance with her.
He's like, I need to dance. He gets
this stupid movie.
Gambling addiction. Also, that scene where the guy's just pissing and he needs his tuxedo and he gets peed on is very strange. Because the Venom I know, he can just change whatever clothes you have on to whatever you want. That's the whole point of this fucking thing.
Barely an inconvenience.
Why did you need to knock out the guy?
Because it's fun to get peed on.
Peeing on him. I don't know. I don't understand.
It's fun to get peed on.
Also very convenient. The government decommissioning Area 51 and all the symbiotes just happen to be there. So then the second half is kind of where I perked up. Because like the third act is this long battle scene. It all happens in one place at Area 51. And I actually kind of enjoyed all the fucking CGI crazy shit that was happening. That helicopter move is pretty dope, where he rides up and they take the chopper blades.
I just found it to be very repetitive.
It's repetitive, and at times. So my other problem with this whole movie is at times it's hard to understand what Tom Hardy is saying and Eddie Brock is saying, and some of the CGI, it was such choppy editing that it was hard to tell what the fuck was actually happening. There's a lot of choppy.
I also think it's tough to be really emotionally invested in the villain or the conflict here because the main villain Null just sits there with his head down.
Yeah,
There's no interaction there. The trifuges or whatever the fuck it's called.
The roaches, big roach aliens.
Roaches, they're monsters. You can't really interact with them.
Yeah.
So the only villain that you can interact with is kind of Chitwell Etchefer's villain character. But he's not the main villain. He's not even really a villain. It's just kind of a misunderstood general.
He helps them out at the end.
So there's no, and then the villain, the alien Blugs, they're basically indestructible.
Yeah, I thought I kind of like
that. They're indestructible until wherever that goop gets on them. Then that.
Well, that's acid. But yeah, you see them several times reassemble themselves, and I'm like, this shit is unstoppable.
So, but there's no, even though it's supposed to be world-ending stakes, there's no back and forth with any of that. So you can't, that inherently limits the movie in terms of, your personal investment in the hero's journey in this one.
I feel like there's not really an interest in making a great movie. I think they're just, their interest was, we want to have some fun, popcorny stuff that you can laugh at and be entertaining, and that's all they tried to do. And if you're trying to just do that to make an entertaining film, I think they achieved that for the most part, but I just really think that third act is weak, and having this teased bad guy throughout this whole film, and then you don't even get anything. I felt I was shortchanged, especially if this is the last Venom and they call it the last dance. I mean, I could see that there's Eddie Brock. He's in New York now, and they want to use the Venom symbiote that's on the cockroach will eventually get to New York and reform Venom.
But it was even that ending was what was the point of getting him to New York just because Venom was I always want to see Statue of Liberty?
Now there's also a piece of Venom that's in the Marvel universe.
There still is.
So that could be the Venom that Tom Holland fights.
For a second, though, I thought at the end they may show. Wouldn't it be great if they just showed an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man swing by the Empire State Building in the distance or something, or the Statue of Liberty? But he just also there's a great that ends with that clip montage, like it's the fucking end of a TV show or something. It's hilarious. And you know what's funny? We just finished the Perfect Strangers whole season. The last episode literally has an exact same clip montage.
And Venom was in that too.
Venom was also in that Perfect Strangers ending. I was like, am I watching a fucking TV movie? What the fuck? I was like, remember all this great stuff? It's hilarious. So what'd you guys think of the needle drops? We hear Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, and he's with the horse. They sing David Bowie's Space Oddity in the truck. And then there was another weird, they're dancing to the ABBA song.
There's Cat Stevens.
Oh, in the Wild World. Yes, they used the Wild World in the movie.
They also end the movie with
what was that song?
Was it by what's his name? Post Malone?
Oh, it was the Post Malone song.
I had some help. Right, that one, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought I like the music.
I mean, those are really good songs, I will say.
It was fine. It wasn't anything.
It's a good. The Queen song's good.
I wrote down fun music.
Yeah. Okay.
The next thing I wrote down was this movie is just a bunch of bullshit. LOL.
It really is. It's just how can we write them out? How can we finish them? Look, I get they were trying to be emotional at the end, right? You have that moment. Eddie and Venom are bonding, and they're like, I'm going to have to leave you. And Venom sacrifices himself, saves Eddie, gets melted, blows up. I should have felt it more. I just kind of barely felt it.
I felt it.
I didn't. It didn't hit me. I think they wanted it to completely. I was just like,
did it graze your feels at all?
It grazed them a little bit. But this fucking random family is so stupid. Why did they sneak in and go up that tower? What the fuck is happening? Fucking Martin and this family, this random
unfortunate writing in Ron.
He almost stole every scene he was in because
he was funny. I thought he was
kind of funny.
I just knew because I know who that guy is.
Right,
and him doing a hippie American.
Yeah, it's weird.
But weird casting because immediately when you see him, you go, "Is this Dr. Kurt Connors?"
Yeah, because
it's not.
They're literally like, "Hey, remember Mordor and the Lizard? We got them playing completely different people.
Right?
Come see this movie."
It's such a bait and switch.
It's just like, okay, we're starting out and we're going to go to Area 51. But before that, we're going to go to Vegas. And then he's going to be on a plane. And then I'm like, okay, what are you
then
doing?
he's going to be in a van. Then they're going to get, like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, the movie is really written in a way where they had a series of moments that they wanted or a series of ideas. And then they were like, okay, how do we string this all together? We want the symbiote to jump onto animals. We want different color symbiotes.
Yes.
We want him in these different locales. And there's got to be some sort of world-ending threat. Okay.
So can I ask a question that's really stupid?
Yeah.
Were they actually closing Area 51 or were like the entire base or just the top of Area 51?
And not the bottom?
And not the bottom? That's
unclear.
I wasn't really sure what was happening.
Clear.
Because Strickland gets control of that whole program, like during that, halfway through.
And the girl was like, the scientist lady was like, yeah, but nobody knows we're down here and we've been doing all this research.
Okay, so there's so many things that don't make sense. First of all, when Strickland gets control of the Imperium Project, he's like, assemble the 6. And you're like, what? 6? Sinister 6? No, it's 6 random dudes that are hanging off a helicopter. I don't know why he said assemble the 6. Then when they separate Eddie and Venom and they capture him and they bring him there, somehow Venom gets out and bonds with the one scientist for a second and then jumps back on Eddie. And I was like, wait, when did this happen? And then he releases all the others and the fucking xenophage shows up right away. Now, I did enjoy all the other colors. It was very colorful.
I did like the colors.
Apparently, these are characters known as Lasher and Agony and Phage, and it's a big CG battle. I got to tell you, I don't know anything about these other symbiotes. When I stopped reading, like in the late 90s, there was only Venom and Carnage. I was out way before. It just seemed like too many symbiotes. There were too many clones of Spider-Man.
I got like anti-Venom and like Flash Thompson Venom, and then I was out.
No, I was done. I was done after they cloned Spider-Man 700 times. I was like, okay, this is enough. And that was even before. So I know some people were like, oh, cool, but they're not named. They all die. Also, they all get killed. Venom has to bond with the xenophages, get acid dumped on him, and get exploded. So then, yes, the other parts at the end is Eddie wakes up, and it was kind of sad when he wakes up in the hospital. He's like, buddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, he's not there. He's not there.
See? Yeah. We worked.
A little bit. And the general's like, all right, you know what? You helped. Thank you. We're going to pardon everything. Don't tell anybody what happens. Then he goes to the Statue of Liberty, and you see the clip show.
It without him. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, there's not a ton.
No.
There's not a ton to analyze about the movie. No. It is pretty shitty. There's not a ton of thought that they put into the movie, really. It's just a series of moments, and it's just an excuse. That's the thing that I wrote down, too, is the movie, for me, is good whenever Tom Holland Venom is on screen, but anything else on screen is just like, oh, let's get back to Venom.
That's just, and when he's not on screen, there's literally just characters giving you exposition, like you're a fucking idiot. Here's my biggest thing that's kept me up at night. Remember those scenes in the movie, that room with the monitors, that guy in silhouette calling the shots, General Strickland.
Who the fuck was that?
They never fucking tell you who that is. I was like,
wait, what are you
fuck
talking
you
about?
Movie.
Is that Thunderbolt Ross?
That there was several times they cut to this dark room with monitors. There's a guy who's backlit. You just see the back of his head, and he is calling the shots. And this is what I did at the end. First of all, my theater was packed. People love Venom. There was a lot of the end of the movie. I turned to the whole row, and I was like, wait. Did they ever explain who that fucking person was? And everyone's like, nope. And I was like, what the fuck? What was that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that character. I literally forgot that character happened in the movie.
I was ending. I was like, wait a minute. They better tell me in the post. I was like, they better tell me who that is. I'll tell you what, though. Here's the thing. People really love this fucking Venom. Like I said, the theater's packed. I was sitting next to
not enough to make a lot of money though.
That's the thing. I don't know. I was sitting next to a group of 3 girls, young women, came together as a girl group, and they fucking loved this movie. They love Venom. And I just started talking to them. I was like, what do you like about this? And it was just like the humor and the chemistry and Tom Hardy and the design of Venom. But people fucking love Venom, and you don't even have to make it good. You do. I wish
you don't have to even make it good.
I wish I had more fun with it, but I could see how a lot of people would have fun with it.
Venom is like pizza.
It really is. This is like
anything will do.
This is like mid-tier junk food, right? It's not like the shittiest junk food. It's not like the nicest junk food. It's just pretty good junk food, and you forget about it.
It's like Domino's pizza. It's not quite pizza, but it'll do the job.
It's like Little Caesars. It's a little pizza.
I can't argue any of this.
Yeah, that's exactly where these land. So that's about all the interest you need to. They drive through a sand waterfall. What the fuck is that? How does that happen? How is there a sand waterfall? Doesn't matter. Like, why is the sand falling? Where's it going? Why
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, in the beginning, to get into that secret base, they drive through a sand waterfall. I was like, what?
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed that.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I didn't catch that at all.
It'll make sense.
I was too busy face palming from something before. Like I was covering my eyes and shaking my head. Should we rate it or whatever we do?
Let's wrap it up. Fuck it. Let's rate it. Tell me where you like it stacked up to the other two. Anthony.
Yes.
Go first. Where are we landed? Final thoughts.
Where does it rank amongst the other two? Only because I don't remember the second one, I'll put it second.
Yeah.
You know, these movies are what they are, right? We've said what they're junk food, they're mindless at times. But they did. I'll give them credit in that Tom Hardy as Venom, although not really comic book accurate because he never really interacts with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So the character's already flawed from the start. There was something there with that caught on with people, and it caught on with me. I wouldn't mind seeing Tom Hardy as Venom again sometime in the future. Overall, I would say this movie was, I would go 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
But I fully realize it's a bad movie. So if I was giving it a very non-emotional score, I'd probably say it's like a 4 or a 3, but I liked Tom Hardy as Venom.
Okay. Ruggs?
I feel like, out of all the 3 movies that we have Venom in, this is the second best one. I think the first one had Michelle Williams in it, and that classed it up a little bit.
Yeah. The second one did too, I think. It's
an origin film. The second one might have had it, but I don't remember that fucking movie at all. So It was not memorable at all.
Yep.
I did not care for, I don't know. Maybe I would like it more if I watched it again, but I can't imagine it being any better than this one. This one was like at least different because it's like Venom versus Venom on that other movie. And then the first one was Venom versus Venom in the other movie.
At least there's some monsters.
This is like a little bit different because it's got a monster and then they're dangling the carrot of the other bad guy, Null. So it had that going for it. I don't know. I just feel like it's not really made for any reason other than to get people to show up in the theater and dish out money to see Venom do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And it's fine. If I'm going to give it a rating, I'm probably going to give it like a 5.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really the same as all you guys. I think this is it's really close to like the first one. So I would go 1, 3. And again, 2 is completely forgettable. But I was leaning a 6. It's possibly the most memorable, maybe fun out of the 3. And it's wild that we had 3 movies of Venom, no Spider-Man. They fucking pulled it off and it's all fucking illogical, convoluted shit, but whatever. They did it and people love the Venom for some reason. It's not the Venom I wanted, but it's the Venom we got. Because I was like, it's all right. I'll give it a 6. I don't know. I think if you like the first 2 movies, you will like this, but I think you probably wait till it's on streaming. Speaking of the future, though, let's talk about this. Tom Hardy said he's done with this character. Kelly Marcella has gone on record saying multiple times, this is the beginning of Null. They want to show us more of Null, who did fuck all in this movie, really. Is he going to be in Spider-Man 4? Do you want to see a Venom or a black symbiote suit? I don't know.
I don't know how you can even have an opinion on if you want to see Null in another movie.
You can do this if you take Flash Thompson and he unites with the other
Oh.
So Eddie Brock's out. You got Flash Thompson, who's a directly related to Spider-Man character when you're not going to see Spider-Man becomes a good Venom.
Right. Oh. Yes, an anti-Venom or the Venom.
He's good Venom. Isn't he good Venom? Hero Venom?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that called? I don't know. Look it up. Flash Thompson Venom.
Flash Thompson Venom. Just called Flash Thompson. Who's he joins the Avengers or somebody.
Yeah, he's good. He's not evil at all. There's no teeth. There's none of that shit.
Yeah, he's just got a cool suit.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that. But for her to be oh, there's going to be more Null. I was really? I don't think so. I don't know. They didn't really set that up at all. It's all seemed very forced and contrived.
So you could have Spider-Man in the movie but only as Spider-Man, not ever as the actor. He's just kind of in there, but not really doing much.
So
did you even answer Imran about Null? Do you want to see him in other movies?
I do not. I know they're going to try to force it, but
I just don't think you can even have everyone can have an opinion. I just don't think you got enough to even know who the character is to want him in
I don't
anything
even know. Nothing about it is interesting. He made Venoms, and then the Venom turned against them and turned on him.
He also made that black sword, the Necro sword that Gore used in the comics. And, he's a relatively new creation. Just first appearance 2018 or 2013? 2018 full appearance. But this King in Black storyline is pretty big. And he says the words, the King in Black, at the end of this movie. And we saw in that third Thor movie.
Man, you're giving way more depth to this character than we got.
So I don't know how they can, because Thor didn't use that sword to kill Gore in the movie. They changed that.
I just feel like this is a half-baked character at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's apparently one of the most powerful villains in the comics, super villains. So there's potential.
Yeah, you could just write that. It doesn't mean it's earned or even, I don't know, makes sense.
And that reveal of his face and the CG, I didn't think that looked very good.
It didn't look good.
No.
I thought they cast, what's his face to play Null?
Andy Serkis.
No. I thought I saw online that it was the dude from fucking Walking Dead. The dude with the long, that looked like he's from Portland.
Daryl.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Wasn't that the thing on the internet? Maybe I just saw that somewhere.
No. Norman Reedus played Null.
I was totally expecting to see Norman Reedus' face, and then there's this a big CGI face. And I was like,
it's Andy Serkis voiced it, and he mocapped it. I mean, he did direct the last movie also. It is weird. He didn't, I don't know how much he got paid to just do that little thing.
Andy Serkis did Venom too.
Yeah, he directed the second one. But yeah, so there's a lot of Null fans. If you were reading these Venom, I don't.
It escapes me.
I'm worried. I'm a little worried about Spider-Man 4 if Sony has more influence and they're going to try to shove all this shit in. Anyways, on the movie side, we have one more coming, Kraven, without Spider-Man. This one R-rated. I wish some of these Venom movies were R-rated because he's biting heads off and stabbing people and there's no blood at all. Just looks weird. But Kraven will be bloody.
Yay!
So there will be blood.